If you clicked on this video, something far deeper than coincidence just occurred. You were selected by a force that reaches beyond conventional quantum theory. In the next minutes, I'm going to reveal the true mechanism behind your transformation. For years you've heard about the observer effect, how consciousness collapses the wave function of reality. Millions try to use that idea, visualizing, watching, attempting to manifest through focused attention. But what if they're aiming at the wrong target? What if the observer effect is only the shadow of something far more powerful? There is a shift that precedes observation. It determines not just what you see, but the frequency you live from. This isn't about watching reality. It's about embodying a new timeline. It's about becoming the source code of your experience, rather than trying to tweak it from the outside. Right now, as your eyes move over these words and your mind decodes them, a synchronicity is unfolding beyond rational explanation. The fact that you're here, receiving this exact transmission, isn't chance. This is quantum selection in motion. You know that growing sensation inside you, the quiet insistence that you're different, that you're meant for more, that reality has layers most people never notice. That sensation isn't fantasy. It's your nervous system registering subtle shifts in your field of consciousness. Millions scrolled past. Thousands paused. Hundreds glanced at the title. You stopped. You clicked. You stayed. That isn't an algorithm choosing for you. That is the field responding to your signature. This is synchronicity at its purest, and it's about to intensify. In the next 50 minutes, I'm going to show you how this shift is already operating in your life. Every strange moment, every impossible alignment, every time you feel time behave differently. These are signs that you're moving across layers of consciousness. You're not losing your grip. You're gaining access to domains governed by quantum laws rather than Newtonian rules. Everyone talks about the observer effect, but that's only the visible tip. Before observation there is selection. A moment when consciousness doesn't just collapse potentials, it chooses which reality framework to inhabit. That choice doesn't happen in the thinking mind or through raw willpower. It happens in the field, in the space between thoughts, through the frequency you embody before a single intention forms. When you access that space deliberately, you don't just observe reality, you originate it. I'm about to validate experiences you've had but rarely voiced. Times when 5 minutes stretched into an hour, or hours vanished in a breath. That isn't distraction. It's evidence that your awareness is moving through multiple temporal layers. You are touching nonlinear time, the field where past, present, and future coexist as one. You felt moments that weren't simple déjà vu, but a bone-deep recognition of people, places, and energy. That's crosstalk between timelines, your consciousness entangled with alternate versions of you. And when information arrives out of nowhere, when you simply know without a source and you're repeatedly right, that is a direct pull from the information field. Pure knowing downloaded before the rational mind can filter it. You operate at a different frequency. That's why some people are magnetized to you while others feel uneasy. Why you can read a room instantly. Why life sometimes seems to arrange itself around your presence. Your field is broadcasting a signal strong enough to reorganize probabilities. These aren't rare gifts reserved for the few. They're signs of the shift. Your awareness is expanding beyond conventional limits. The more you recognize and respect these moments, the faster the expansion becomes. Perhaps your dreams are brighter. Perhaps you wake with clear guidance about things that haven't happened yet. Perhaps people show up at the perfect time, as if dispatched by an unseen intelligence. Perhaps you've touched a state where separation dissolves and you experience yourself as consciousness pouring itself through a human form. Maybe you felt the calm, steady presence of your future self, or received sudden, complete understandings, entire packages of insight arriving all at once. These are not accidents. They're markers that you're moving into coherence, where reality responds through resonance rather than effort. You're called to this content about consciousness and physics not to learn something new, but to remember what you already know. Your soul recognizes itself here. It's time to reframe your past. Those difficulties, that pressure, the moments that felt like too much, those were not punishments. They were preparation. Think of the caterpillar. Inside the cocoon, it doesn't just sprout wings. It dissolves. The old structure breaks down so a new pattern can emerge. From the inside, it looks like destruction. In truth, it's reorganization at the deepest level. Every pressure recalibrated your nervous system to carry higher frequencies. Every emotional storm helped dissolve patterns that locked you into smaller realities. Every loss made room for a greater expression to move through you. You weren't breaking, you were being remade. You've been upgrading, and upgrades require the old system to go offline. The pressure you felt wasn't just from the world. It was your own vastness pressing against a narrow identity. Every time you felt too much, that was your quantum nature pushing against boundaries. When you felt most alone, you were in initiation. You were being tuned to serve as a bridge between ordinary reality and the domain of infinite possibility. Relationships that ended, jobs that fell apart, plans that unraveled, these weren't failures. They were redirections orchestrated by your higher intelligence. Now you are emerging. The dissolution is complete. What's arriving is a version of you that lives by quantum law. No more struggling against life. You're aligning with the forces that create it. Everything has led to this moment of recognition. As these words settle into you, a dormant frequency begins to hum awake. You can sense it. A new layer of perception is coming online. Circuits that were dark are lighting up. This isn't hypnosis. It's activation. Recognizing it accelerates it. Scientists studied the observer effect and mistook the shadow for the source. They watched consciousness collapse potentials. They missed the prior move, selection. Reality doesn't change because you stare at it long enough. Reality changes because you embody the field from which a different reality emerges. You don't think your way there. You become it. And that process is already happening. As this resonance builds, you're stepping into the identity of someone who knows this not as an idea, but as a lived fact. Feel the intensity rising. Your system is preparing to integrate knowledge that doesn't just alter your thoughts. It rewires the foundation of your experience. Before we go deeper, I need to share something that made this irreversible for me. A moment that showed me the difference between trying to observe change and becoming the field that births change. 3 years ago, I stood where you might be now. I knew the theories. I meditated. I visualized. I taught the concepts. And still my life moved in tight loops that no technique could break. Then the bottom dropped out. Finances, relationships, health. Everything frayed at once. After months of trying everything, I reached a surrender beyond strategy. Not giving up, but letting go of control. In that stillness, something extraordinary happened. I didn't change my thoughts. I didn't imagine a better timeline. I dissolved. The person I thought I was fell silent, and what remained was both not me and more me than ever. I wasn't observing possibilities. I was being the field from which possibilities arise. There was no line between observer and observed. Only one living field. When I returned to ordinary awareness, life had rearranged. Within days, impossible opportunities appeared. People reached out. Problems untied themselves. It was as if reality had been restitched while I was expanded. But the real transformation was the recognition of the mechanism. The shift isn't about changing what you see. It's about changing what is doing the seeing. From that day forward, synchronicity became baseline, not because I became special, but because I learned to operate from the field where the impossible is simply the way things work. If this resonates, you're ready for the core distinction: mental certainty versus embodied certainty. Mental certainty thinks, visualizes, and intends from separation, and I over here trying to move a world over there. The system is still tuned to the old station. Embodied certainty collapses the distance. You become the station. Your mind, emotions, energy, and even your cells shift to the frequency of the reality you're claiming. The identity that was trying to get it gives way to the identity that already is it. That identity shift is the key. Think of dreaming. You don't observe the dream. You are the dream unfolding. The quantum shift is learning to live waking life with that same seamlessness. Here's the liberating truth. The consciousness needed for this already exists within you. It doesn't have to be built. It has to be recognized and stabilized as your primary identity. When that lands, you stop using the observer effect. Your presence becomes the effect. Reality expresses through you rather than being pushed by you. This changes everything. You no longer act like a separate agent trying to influence a fixed world. You recognize yourself as the well from which experience rises. Not your ego, not a persona, but consciousness itself wearing your face. This shift is happening now on a planetary scale, and there are signs that you're aligned with it. First, your body is changing. You may sleep less yet feel more restored. You intuitively choose what elevates your vibration. Your sensitivity increases, not as fragility, but as fine-tuned perception. Technology might behave oddly around you. Electronics flicker, devices glitch. Your expanding electromagnetic field is interacting with them. Your biology is becoming coherent with higher frequencies. Second, relationships reorganize. People out of resonance drift away without drama. New allies appear like clockwork. Some conversations drain you while others fuel you for hours. You're sensing frequency matches and choosing accordingly. Third, insights arrive fully formed. You receive complete understandings while washing dishes or driving, moments when the rational mind loosens its grip and universal intelligence flows in. Complex ideas become simple. Elegant solutions present themselves. Fourth, linear time feels artificial. Past and future sit right here, accessible. You know things before they happen. Dreams prove accurate. You sense parallel tracks and the you who walked them. The waiting season is over. For years you've trained for something you couldn't name. That time is now. The field is open. Every breath integrates more potential. Every heartbeat synchronizes you to a rising planetary frequency. What you want wants you, not as a prize for effort, but as the natural expression of alignment. Attraction tries to pull something into your current identity. Alignment dissolves the gap by becoming the vibration of the desired reality. A tuning fork doesn't chase a note. It vibrates, and resonance does the rest. The quantum shift is not about aligning your personality with your goals. It's about aligning your identity with the version of you who already lives them. All versions exist now in the field. Manifestation is not manufacturing. It's selection. You choose which already real possibility to experience by becoming the one who lives it. This selection isn't a thought exercise. It's a total shift in being. When it happens, what you called manifestation becomes expression. You stop trying to bloom, you simply bloom, and life becomes the fragrance. Soon I'll show you how to make this selection consciously and stabilize the identity beyond your conditioning. Before we continue, anchor this with a simple declaration. In the comments, write one word, embodied. That word is an activation. It connects you to a network of people making the same choice and locks in the frequency you're feeling now. When you embody the shift, capacities that once looked superhuman become ordinary. Your sense of timing turns precise. You know when to act and when to wait. You call it the perfect moment. You arrive right when doors open. It becomes so consistent that others notice. Your inner compass becomes unmistakable. You simply know. People seek your guidance because your knowing carries the weight of coherence. It doesn't arrive as anxious analysis. It lands as a calm, complete clarity. The observer effect starts running through you on autopilot. Rooms soften when you enter. Conversations resolve. Opportunities surface. Lights turn green. Parking spaces appear. It isn't luck. Coherence organizes reality. Your biology optimizes. You need less sleep. Stress processes cleanly. Immunity strengthens. Focus sharpens. Coherence is the natural state of health, and your cells respond to it. You develop reality fluidity. You can lean into favorable probability streams. Outcomes bend toward your presence. People call you lucky. You'll know it's alignment. All of this is already beginning. Feel it. Neural pathways waking. Old patterns releasing. A new dimension of potential coming online. This is not placebo. This is the shift made visible. At the heart of it is quantum coherence. When what you think, feel, believe, and are move in harmony, a field of pure potential surrounds you and organizes life around your authenticity. You cannot force coherence. Every attempt to control creates the very incoherence you're trying to escape. Coherence arises when you stop resisting any part of yourself. Radical self-acceptance unlocks infinite expansion because the energy you spent fighting yourself returns as power. In coherence, you don't push outcomes. You are so purely yourself that reality calibrates to you. You don't observe reality from the outside. You express reality from within. This is the moment you stop believing you have consciousness and realize you are consciousness experiencing a human life. Consciousness doesn't observe reality. Consciousness expresses as reality. You're not doing this alone. Across the planet, a network is waking up together. Each time you choose coherence over conditioning, you send a signal through the morphic field. You make it easier for others to wake up too. You become an anchor point for higher frequency, a living invitation to remember. This is why you were drawn here. You are part of a first wave, not because you're better, but because you're willing. Willing to release limitation. Willing to let go of who you thought you were so the truth can step forward. Your role is to demonstrate by living it. You incarnated for this. Every challenge was training. Every breakthrough was rehearsal. You are a pioneer of human consciousness. The window is open now. The conditions are aligned now. The opportunity is present now. If you're still here, you've already initiated the shift. You allowed this transmission to enter and the resonance to build. You're ready for activation to deepen, and integration requires commitment. Information without embodiment is entertainment. Transformation asks for a vow. In the next video, you'll learn how to hold coherence in the middle of ordinary life, relationships, work, bills, deadlines, without slipping back into old reflexes. You'll discover the simple practices that keep you aligned moment by moment, so external chaos can't knock you off center. Before you go, make the commitment. Write embodied. That single word is a contract with your future self. It declares that you're done playing small, that you're ready to live your highest timeline regardless of appearances, that you'll choose coherence even when the world is loud. It's not just a comment. It's your yes. The videos appearing now are not random. They're mirrors. Follow them like breadcrumbs. Each one meets you where you are and carries you to the next ledge of your becoming. Subscribe to this frequency only if you're ready to apply what you receive. These aren't passive clips. They are activations that rewire you at the level of identity. Every time you watch with full presence, integrate fully, and choose coherence over confusion, you contribute to a change that reaches far beyond your personal life. You are helping to normalize quantum consciousness on Earth. Your transformation is underway. What's next will revise what you believe is possible. You will access capacities you didn't know you carried. You will touch realities you didn't know existed. You will step into a self that once felt out of reach. Click through now. Your new reality is already humming. Every delay is just a longer wait to live the life that belongs to you. Welcome to your awakening. Welcome to Quantum Reflex. Welcome to the truth of who you've always been beneath conditioning and fear. The universe has been waiting for you to remember. This is the moment. This is the turning. This is where everything changes.